What's up, everyone? Coming back with another one, and it's really hot outside. It's quite nice. So, for about a couple days, I was a little down. We're going to talk about depression. Why is it so vital to our health? Well, it's not a bad thing. It does give you a bad feeling, but the bad thing is when you imbalance yourself from balancing how much you do something. If you overdo something, you are going to... It's like punishing yourself. When you allow yourself to fall in line with death, the Death Eater. The Death Eater, it's kind of like the Leviathan. When you allow the Leviathan to bite you and eat you alive, it drains your energy. You don't feel happy. You feel wounded in battle, defeated. You feel like a loser. Your ego starts talking shit. When in truth, it is because you do something too much. You don't have to stop. You just have to kind of balance how much you do it. And, for those who may be suffering right now, take a break. Allow yourself to struggle, because it is hard to quit. It's hard to quit. And I know that there are people who are probably trying to quit smoking, taking drugs, like cocaine, heroin, whatever the fuck, shots, things like that just corrupt you. You deny the reality of what is happening to you, while others see what is happening to you, and you start abusing other people. This is what happens when you deny your truth. Anyway, going back to the topic, my mind can go places, but if you do too much of something that does not bring you joy, to a point where you continue consuming something and allowing yourself to project upon it. Could be porn, could be anything related to something that would just destroy your discipline, to a point where you have so much dopamine, you feel so lazy, you don't feel like doing anything. Well, that's where I was. That's where I am. But I try to push myself, because that's kind of what you have to do. If you don't do much of anything, you're going to become contagious with what is called suicidal thoughts. You do not like the feeling, so you start to believe that killing yourself is the only way out. That is the worst solution anyone could ever do. And it's really stupid. It's foolish. People who do that are in denial. They deny their reality. They don't want to accept who they are. So they hope that God places them into a path that they want. And you might be going through this, and just hear me out and hear yourself out. Don't do this for anyone, just do it for you. If you feel like this, find a therapist. People will call you a psychopath because, well, if you get angry at them and you throw shit around you, it's logical. And the thing is, you just have to be aware and conscious enough to do the work, heal, recover yourself. The trauma bond is not safe. Beautiful day, huh? Have fun, man. Yeah. And you know, if you tell other people to kill themselves, which I've did and I'm guilty of, it's not a good idea. You could kill someone for being an asshole. And it's not, you know, it technically is your fault because you're the one that made it worse for them. But you have to recognize that sometimes when you're angry, you say stupid shit. And the best thing is when you're angry, shut the fuck up for a while. Allow yourself to take a step back. Because in truth, it'll save you a lot of time, a lot of energy. Your confidence comes back to you. Your joy comes back to you. Your courage returns to you. Fear is eliminated by love. And I love myself. I really do. And that's why I am taking action and accountability, being responsible for my own life, because one day, you know, if you live with your parents, they won't be around to pay for bills or rent. You have to think about these things. You're no longer the child that your mind craves to believe all the time. You're not your mind, guys. Therefore, you're not really depression either. Do not claim the identity. Just observe it and recognize that it really needs your help. Because when you value the mentality of the duality of ego, it does not become fragile, it becomes empowered. It becomes the greatest tool in logic, in bravery, and creativity. It's a very productive tool. While you're the light and the heart that pumps blood within the body and into the mind, as the mind breathes, allowing you to, breathe fresh air, store memories, but you're not the mind. Just recognize what you're doing, because if something doesn't bring you joy, don't continue doing it. Or learn how to embrace your struggles and learn how to cope and find good ways to handle challenging things. Don't try to prove yourself, because if you already proved yourself, there's really nothing to prove. You're capable of doing it. It's just the mind becomes fragile, and now your ego suffers, and then you suffer. Bird. Oh my god, he has a bird on his fucking... He has a bird on his shoulder. He has a bird on his shoulder. Beautiful. But, yeah. You just have to take action. You want the best, you take action right fucking now. You hear me? When you hear me, you're hearing yourself. Don't ignore yourself. Only the ignorant narcissist in your brain does that. But you're not the brain, you're not the narcissist. Nor are you the empath. See, empath and narcissism is psychological. It's all emotional. It's all, your energy. That's what the soul is. Your energy, your consciousness and awareness. And emotion has energy as well. Everything is energy. Soul is source. It's infinity through time itself. While the mind is space. Why do you think you feel like shit all the time? Because you live in a house that's all cluttered and comfort and distractions. That's why you see the monks. They live in places where there's nothing in the room. They only need certain things that are simple. Do you need $100 billion? No, you really don't. That's just another distraction. If you make money the goal, you're too focused on the future. Make your growth the goal. and accept that you don't know what the hell is going to happen in the future. That's it. Because the mind will try and say, oh, I'm gonna die, da 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 da. Like, right now, my brain, the echoes of the voice said, I'll probably die. Now, when the divine has your back, when you see numbers 11, 11, 22, 22, 5, 5, 5, 8, 8, 8, 7, 7, 7, you're on the path. It may not feel great right now, but trust it. That's all you can do. Trust it. Let everybody yap about you, gossip about you. It's beyond your control. But what you can control is by being silent and not paying any attention to bullies. Don't start giving a fuck what they think about you, because they're not really thinking about you. They really are not. Because to them, you're just some psychopath. They just replace you because they don't want to take accountability at all. So they just, point fingers at other people because their manipulation works all the time, but they always lose in the end. It's like, how can someone not learn and realize that hurting people and then realizing they just lost the war? Some people recognize it. And you could be a narcissist right now watching this video, but you grew awareness, you woke up, and you're watching me right now, and you're realizing all the toxic habits and, behaviors you've done to people. I've done it too. To find out why narcissism is so toxic and tragic, well, number one, it's developed through, psychology and habits, which are behaviors. So you can develop any gesture by whoever you hang out with. If you hang out with assholes, you're going to become one. Over time, it might not happen in a day, but if you hang out with the wrong people for 9 years online like I did, you become one. You see their lies before they even fucking know you're there, staring at their ugly self. And they usually smile at you because they know, and that's the dangerous part, because you don't want them to know who you are. They know who you are when you stare at them and they smile at you. And that's when they try to, manipulate the fucking universe by using black magic, which is, manipulating the universe and, hiring, flying monkeys by kind of tricking them and telling them that you're the reason they're suffering, blah, blah, blah. So they kind of use your own struggles against you by being you to make everyone else believe you're them. That's why I like recording, because sometimes I'll take, like I took walks a few times, and I'm like, talking to myself, and I'm like, geez, why I should have recorded that. I'm like, sometimes I say something that's so true that when I try to write it down, I fucking forget. And, it's not because I forget, it's because, the mind likes to correct everything, but then it changes the narrative. It doesn't exactly sound the same because the mind wants, it's kind of like your assistant, your auto-correction assistant. But sometimes you also have to follow your heart, because sometimes when you let the mind do all the work for you, it's kind of like being a narcissist. You're depending on your mind to save you, which is not really a good idea. Follow your feelings, then you will save a lot more time. Follow your mind, well, you're gonna waste a lot of time talking to yourself. And then you're gonna burn yourself out. You're not gonna be able to talk for a while. You're gonna, forget a lot of things. And that's what the narcissist is kind of like. They forget, you guys. And this, collides along well with the topic depression, because, gaslighting is really bad. It's probably the worst and best manipulation tactic that works. I done it myself. It's fucked up. It's not actually healthy. It fucking corrupts you when you do it. It's black magic. It's black magic. You're basically allowing yourself to swim in lava as your skin melts and you feel so much pain that you try to run away from the pain. You live in a fantasy land. But going back to the topic, it's very concerning when you start to doubt your own thoughts and you start to believe the narcissist, because I play a thing called Second Life, and you can have your own house. You can mainly do anything. I invited somebody to my virtual house that they never actually saw, and they say, "Oh, I remember this house. Yeah, you showed me. Don't you remember?" And don't take a step back. Just say, "No, you never saw my house." "Oh, don't be ridiculous. You allowed me in. Don't you remember?" See, the thing is, let me just simplify it. For example, they use the last moment that actually happened, and see, they used the last moment that actually happened, like when you let them in your house. Yeah, they see your house because it's their first time, but they don't admit it's their first time. They're so good at it where they plan to say, they twist it around by saying, oh, I've been here before, but they don't say, oh, wow, this is cool. It's like, because, if you visit someone's office building for work and you look around, you like the architecture, and you're like, wow, this is amazing, because you've never been there before. But them, well, it could be a private location. You have your own office in your own house. It looks like an apartment building. They never been there, but as soon as they come into your house, they don't say, oh my God, this is amazing. They say, oh yeah, I've been here before. Don't you remember? You guys probably have an aha moment right there, because that's how they talk. Don't let their lies pull you into the black hole, basically, the vortex. And the thing is, it's like you can't be yourself. You have to act. You have to play their game. You don't play their game. You just kind of you talk in their language. So it's like it becomes concerning, because yes, it does mess with your mental health. It's not a good idea to continue, but the best thing you could do is play along, and then when they leave, you cut them out of your life completely, and you document everything. Like, before they say hello to you, you document everything. You just write everything down somewhere on a digital note card, or paper, and you document everything. Or you could also document simple conversations. It doesn't have to be everything, because it's very duality. It's when something is so psychological, it becomes overwhelming. It really does. It becomes overwhelming. And there is that famous saying, follow your gut. If your gut is squeezing up to a point where it feels like you're gonna throw up, or you just have a sharp, it's not really painful, but it's like a really fucking, it feels like something squeezing your gut. And the more you realize, what the devil is, well, the devil usually sends you a signal through energy manipulation to a point where they make it seem like it's you or it's somebody else that they're with. And when you try to have, empathy for the person that might be going through a lot, well, guess what? That's the narcissist you're talking to. See that face? Look. Looks like Shrek smiling, but it's kind of scary. See? That's the narcissist right fucking there. And that's the thing, depression gets worse when you continue to allow yourself to do something that is only bringing you down further and further and further, to a point where you start to beat yourself up. Your mind, the echoes of the mind, starts to manipulate you, saying, oh no, you're not that good enough, even though you are. And the truth to be told is, you're not your mind. So stop trying to like something that you know is going to tear you down. It's not going to tear you into pieces, but it feels like it, yeah. It doesn't feel like you're being, taken apart like Legos, but it kind of feels like a very painful numbness, like you're suppressing yourself to realize that you have the power to quit. You have the power to let go. And what anger does in this situation, your anxiety is like a spider web. It's like Spider-Man when he kind of swings around like a monkey in New York City. And the ego gets so attached to trying to win that if it loses control, you become separate from who you are, the experiencer and the master who is, in disguise as, the person, but that's ego, ego is the master in disguise, but the diamond in disguise is, when you be someone else for someone else, and being who you are, well, you really have to start not giving a fuck at all. Meaning you could say something so weird out loud and somebody tries to tell you to stop doing that. Don't stop. Keep going. They'll never want to be with you. That's alright. That's not them. That's not your friend. But even now, I have to be careful with how I say these words, because it's not an easy way to explain the soul through words. It's not possible. Duality tries to tell you that you must write an essay by explaining who you are. And many times people end up describing the name of the persona they are. So, George is a man of his word. He is a empath that likes to heal plants. See, that's not who you are. That's just a persona. That's a part of the mind. And sometimes trying to explain that to people who had a longevity of seeing duality as spirituality, well, they chose to be that, which is not who they really are. but they get completely, my mother's kind of like that. So, alright, it's gonna be quiet here. And,
Yeah, they come out a little later. Yeah. Have you got them? No.
so, so, I feel like the video should be ended here. So, you guys have a good one. Have a good day.